Okay. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone on this auspicious day of the appearance day of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. And prepared a few things that I would like to do today on this occasion. I am sorry because I'm like a little unprepared with the materials for our online guests, but either I can make a quick online search and send the links, or just you can follow by listening. What do you think is better?
I wouldn't get into an online search.
Okay, so actually I would like to start with chanting a poem that Srila Prabhupada wrote on Jaladuta. It's called Prayers to the Lotus Feet of Lord Krishna. And it's actually a lot of prayers to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, a lot of glorification of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati there. So I'm thinking to start with that. Also because I want to play the harmonium gently, maybe the sound will not be so great. And so then the class good sound will not be distracted by that. So I will try to play the harmonium gently enough so that everyone can hear.
So this is called the Prayers to the Lotus Feet of Lord Krishna. Prabhupada wrote on the Jaladuta.
And we are going to do the call and response. Saraswati, Shashi Sudapriya, Krishna Sevaya Charantuana, Saraswati, Shashi Sudapriya, Krishna Bhakti Dei Kai Krishna Bhakti Dei Rai Shampalava Navasanga Bhagyote Nilo. Sing, sing, seva, Navasanga Bhagyote Nilo. Janam Vipatitam Prabhavari Kamam Vikamam Vya Prakatam Prasanga Janam Vipatitam Prabhavari Kamam Vikamam Vya Prakatam Prasanga Passat Krishna Bhagavan Kriya Soham Katam Vishnu Bhagavritya Seva Passat Krishna Bhagavan Kriya Soham Katam Vishnu Bhagavritya Seva Saraswati, Dayakshi Chandra Chandra Dayakshi Chandra Chandra Jai Suchoga, Jadioi Joga, Udipari to Emilina. Jai Suchoga, Jadioi Joga, Udipari to Emilina. Tomara milagre vai, abai se sukapai, gochara de guri ko. Tomara milagre vai, abai se sukapai, gochara de guri ko. Kandavane chukachute, vanikai kutapute, seirin kabeka vemo. Kandavane chukachute, vanikai kutapute, seirin kabeka vemo. Acise subiane, tomara sarna vela, Varvashta yakila Acise subiane, tomara Varvashta yakila Ani tomar pichadas, tai corinya asha, mi binna niagatina. Ani tomar pichadas, tai corinya asha, mi binna niagatina. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Jaya Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Jaya Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Brahma Thank you everyone online for your patience. And now we are going to read the translation of this poem written by Srila Prabhupada on Chaladutta. Govinda Prabhu, would you like to start?
I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you.
Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestowed intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world.
By his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout the countries of the Western world, in all the cities, towns, and villages on earth. From all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna.
As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled.
Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy, so that I may become worthy. For you are the wisest and most experienced of all.
If you bestow your power by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth. One's life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune.
My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? That's a quote from Prahlad Maharaj, speaking to Lord Nrsingadev in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 28.
O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicks of Maya birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then I will surely be able to rejoin you.
O dear friend, in your company, I will experience great joy once again. In the early morning, I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields. Running and frolicking in the many forests of Braja, I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine?
Today that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. Because I have a great longing, I call to you. I am your servant, I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no other means of success.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada is on the Chaladutta, writing this poem, and Prabhupada is on the Chaladutta because of the order of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. So it's true to say that none of us would be sitting here today morning if it wasn't for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and for Srila Prabhupada exemplary showing what does it mean to be actually a disciple of a spiritual master and surrendering fully unto his instruction. So today morning, Dhira Govinda Prabhu was reading a class from Srila Prabhupada on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Appearance Day, and Srila Prabhupada was speaking how he first met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and kind of before he even completed his obeisances, he was ordered to preach this Sankirtan culture in the West. And Srila Prabhupada said, I didn't know I will actually have to do that. so that's the intention, and then I left this is my program on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati appearance and disappearance is to chant this poem because Lord Srila Prabhupada's mood and relationship towards his spiritual master, like to me, is like really intimately revealed there. It's almost like, who am I even to read it? But we have it by some costless mercy. So she says, Srila Prabhupada is like, he didn't even come to America yet. And he says that by, where is it? By his strong, that means Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's, by his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. In all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. So that's Srila Prabhupada's faith in the words of his spiritual master. And although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. So Srila Prabhupada knows this is the order of my spiritual master. This is his intention, this is his desire. And when a pure Vaishnava desires something, it's not possible for it not to be fulfilled. Because Krishna has so much fondness for his pure devotees. If the Vaishnava desire, what can Krishna do, right? He's completely conquered. He's completely conquered by that love, and he's like, yeah, he cannot. There's nothing he could resist. So Srila Prabhupada knows and understands that, and by his humility, he sees himself alone and insignificant, and he's praying to Krishna for his mercy to become worthy, so he can fulfill the order of his spiritual master. So when Srila Prabhupada met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, was it 1920?
1922.
1922. He was married, grahasta, he had children, and he actually didn't even want to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati because he was so done with like what was going on in the name of Gaudiya Vaishnavism and spirituality, and it was like all unattractive to him, and he didn't want to see like just another quotes and quotes guru who is like posing themselves in this position. And after this one first meeting, Srila Prabhupada was completely sold to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He says that was my initiation. And when he argued with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, but like, how can I preach in the West countries? Like India is subordinate country, who will even like want to hear from us? First, we need to get our independence. And Srila Prabhupada says, and luckily I was defeated by my own arguments.
I was happily defeated.
Happily defeated by my own arguments. And Srila Prabhupada says, this was my initiation. This first contact with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And when he was, Srila Prabhupada left that day, he shared to his friend, Lord Chaitanya's mission is in good hands. Because he knew, like this person, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's going to do that. He's going to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And Srila Prabhupada surrendered himself to be his instrument, and he was a little desperate that he's married and has children and has this like grihastha life, and he did what he could do, like financially supporting and printing the back to Godhead, preaching, like he did all he could do. And then, as we know, as the pastime manifested, Srila Prabhupada eventually went on to Chaladuta and like did this amazing, inconceivable preaching mission, all based on the firm faith and absolute 100% surrender to his spiritual master, with no drop of like holding back, no tinge of holding back, no personal needs or motivations or aspiration. Just simply, this is what my spiritual master wants, and I'm going to do that, even though I don't know how, even though I have no qualities for that, whatever. Mother Ratneshwari kindly gave me yesterday for this assembly these 25 quotes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati for me to distribute. So I will just read one of them for now, but everyone who is in person is welcome to take a copy. 25th. I wish that every selfless, tender-hearted person of Gaudiya Math will be prepared to shed 200 gallons of blood for the nourishment of the spiritual corpus of every individual of this world. So, for those who are not well versed in biology, human beings have about like 2.5, maybe 3 gallons of blood in the body. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is kindly requesting just shed 200 gallons of blood. So that was his mood, and that's what Srila Prabhupada really did for him. And that's a true acharya. Acharya is the one who is preaching by example. So I personally feel a little uncomfortable with this 200 gallons of blood because I know I don't even have that much. And I mean, I don't even want to shed my two gallons or, like
I
that.
seem to be saying 200 gallons like for each person.
Oh, okay, I didn't even understand
so
that.
we can multiply it by 8 billion.
I see. And maybe the individual means every living entity. Okay, thank you. That didn't make me feel bad. Anyhow, so we can see, we can like have a glimpses. It's really just like glimpses of the heart of the pure devotee who come here to this world to deliver the fallen souls. Prabhupada says in this poem that when all the sinful, miserable living entities, that's us, when all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, then the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. So, it's also like this poem from Srila Prabhupada, it ends in quite like ecstatic places with his like longing for Krishna. And that's what Srila Prabhupada was experiencing when he wrote this poem. But it's like ecstasy is like, first and above all, and in like most of the verses of the poem, like first 6 verses, in contrary to the last 2, are dedicated to his spiritual master. And that's how much it's the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, how much more there is importance of that relationship. So we can take how it relates to us, we can take the opportunity to do the same, or at least, probably never be possible for me this life to do the same, but at least aspire to come to that platform. And so I was thinking to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, the verse that Srila Prabhupada is actually quoting in his poem, and that will be 7-9-28. So right now I am unprepared for the in-person Sangha. 7-9-28. So I will just 7-9.
the Prahlad Maharaj.
All right, actually, I gave you all the Sanskrit for that. Thank you. So I am prepared. 7, 9, 28. I'm trying to find it, I'm sorry. But everyone else, if you like, you can find for yourself 7, 9, 28, which we are going to read, because I think it's a nice verse to read, since Srila Prabhupada actually was so inspired by Prahlad Maharaj, right? Srila Prabhupada is inspired by Prahlad Maharaj relationship to his spiritual master Narada Muni. And so when Srila Prabhupada is talking with the devotion in his heart to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he's quoting Prahlad Maharaj. And the devotees, the pure devotees, are kind of one, not in an interpersonal way, but in their desire and the mood of service and pleasing the spiritual master and love for Krishna. Okay, so let's do a little invocation first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Chayamudiraye Nastaprayeshva Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Okay, 7, 9. Prahlad pacifies the Lord with prayers. 28. So we can chant. Evam Janam Nipatitam Prabhu. I cannot get rid of the tune from the. Is it
It's
okay?
like the Chintamani Prakara.
Yeah.
Saraswati.
Okay. Evam Janam Nipatitam. Can you do that?
Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe.
Evam Janam Nipatitam Prabhavati Kupe.
Kama bikama manuya prapatan prasanga.
Kama Vikama Manuya Prapatam Prasanga.
Pitvat nasat surasingha bhagavan krihita.
Kritvat Nasat Surashina Bhagavan Gritam.
Soham katam no visrije tava vricha sevam.
Soham Katam Navishje Tavavritya Seva. Evam Janam Nipatitam Prabhavahi Kupe.
Evam janam napititam prabhavari kupe.
Kama Vikama Manuya Prapatam Prasanga.
Kama vikama manuya prapatan prasanga.
Kritvat Masat Surashina Bhagavan Grita.
Kritva nasat sarasina bhagavan grihita.
Soham Katam Nuvishriche Tavabretya Sevam.
Soham katam visrije tava vricha sevam.
Anyone else?
Devam Janam Nipatitam Prabhavati Kupe.
Evam Janam Nipatitam Prabhavahi Kupe.
Kama Vikama Manuya Prapatam Prasangat.
Kama Vikama Manuya Prapatam Prasanga.
Tatmasa Surashinas Bhagavan Grihita.
Kritva Nasat Surashina Bhagavan Grita.
Mam Katam Vishrije Tavavritya Sevam.
Soham Katam Nuvishriche Tavabretya Sevam.
Evam Janam Nipitatam prabhavahi kupe.
Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe.
Kama vikama manuya prapatan prasangat.
Kama vikama manuya prapatam prasanga.
Kitvatmasat surasina bhagavan grihitaha.
Kritva masat surashina bhagavan grita.
Soam katham na vrisaje tava bhritya sevam.
Soham katam vishrcheta vabritya sevam. Anyone online? We are reading 7:9:28.
Evam janam nipatitam prabhavati kupe.
Evam janam nipatitam prabhavani kupe.
Avam vikamam anuya praktan prasangat.
Kama vikama manuya prapatam prasangan.
Privant masat surasina bhagavan grihita.
Kritva tasat surashina bhagavan grita.
Soham katam nu vishaje tava brita sevam.
Soham katam nishcheta vabritya sevam. Okay, we are going to do to word. Evam,
Evam,
das,
thus,
janam,
janam,
people in general,
People in general.
nipatitam,
nipatitam,
fallen,
fallen,
prabhava,
Prabha
of material existence,
of material existence.
ahikupe,
Anikupe.
in a blind well full of snakes, kama abikamam, desiring the sense objects,
Desiring the sense objects.
anu,
Anu.
following,
Following.
yeah,
Yeah.
the person who,
Falling
prapatam,
Prabhatan,
falling down in this condition,
down in this condition.
prasanga, because of that association or increased association with material desires,
because of their association, increased association with material desires.
kritva atmasa,
Atmasa,
causing me to inquire spiritual qualities like himself, Sri Narada.
Causing me to acquire spiritual qualities like himself, Srila.
Jai. Surarshina,
Saraswati,
by the greatly saintly person Narada.
the greatly saintly person,
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
oh my Lord,
Oh my God.
Grahita,
we eat that.
accepted, sa, that person, aham, I, katam, how, nu, indi, visirche, can give up, tava, your, britya sevam, the service of your pure devotee. Translation. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this material position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave this service, his service? Okay, let's do it repetitively, and I will try to make it short. My dear Lord, my dear Lord,
My dear Lord,
O Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Supreme Personality of Godhead,
because of my association with material desires,
because of my association with material desires,
one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes,
into a blind well full of snakes,
following the general populace.
Following the general populace.
But your servant Narada Muni
But your servant
Narada Muni
kindly accepted me as his disciple
kindly accepted me as his disciple
and instructed me
and instructed me
how to achieve this transcendental position.
how to achieve this transcendental position.
Therefore, my first duty is to serve him.
Therefore, my first duty is to serve him.
How could I leave his service?
How could I leave his service?
Report. As will be seen later in later verses, even though Prahlad Maharaj was directly offered all the benediction he might have desired, He refused to accept such offerings from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the contrary, he asked the Lord to engage him in the service of his servant Narada Muni. This is the symptom of a pure devotee. One should serve the spiritual master first. It is not that one should bypass the spiritual master and desire to serve the Supreme Lord. This is not the principle for Vaishnava. Narottam Das Thakur says, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sane Vasa Janame Hai Ei Abhilasa. One should not be anxious to offer direct service to the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that one becomes a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Nudasa. This is the process for approaching the Supreme Lord. The first service should be rendered to the spiritual master, so that by his mercy one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead to render service. While teaching Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. One can achieve the seat of devotional service by the mercy of the Guru, the spiritual master, and then by the mercy of Krishna. This is the secret of success. First, one should try to please the spiritual master, and then one should attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur also says, Yasya Prasad Bhagavat Prasado. One should not attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead by concoction. One must first be prepared to serve the spiritual master, and when is qualified, he is automatically offered the platform of direct service to the Lord. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj proposed that he engage in the service of Narada Muni. He never proposed that he engage directly in the service of the Lord. This is the right conclusion. Therefore, he said, Soham katam nuvishirche tava britya sevam. How can I give up the service of my spiritual master, who has favored me in such a way that I am now able to see you face to face? I will read the sentence again. How can I give up the service of my spiritual master, who has favored me in such a way that I am now able to see you face to face? Prahlad Maharaj prayed to the Lord that he might continue to engage in the service of his spiritual master Narada Muni. Amagyana Hasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurumetamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, opened my eyes with torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gora Vani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Pashyate Resha Tarine. I am thinking to recite also Shah Bhaktisiddhanta's pranams today. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Namine. Shri Varshabhana Videvi Daitaya Kripa Dbhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Pravave Nama. I probably should have memorized this a million years ago. Madhurya Jvala Premadhya Shri. Okay. So it's only two for Shabbat?
It's four.
Oh.
It's four.
Oh, okay. Madhurya Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute. Namaste Goravani Shri Murtaya Dina Tarine Rupanuga Virudha Pasidanta Dvantaharine. So I will read the translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. I offer my respectful obeisances to Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitya Das, which is another name of Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who is favored by Srimati Radharani, and who is the ocean of transcendental mercy and the deliverer of the science of Krishna. I offer my obeisances unto you, the personified energy of Sri Chaitanya's mercy, who deliver devotional service, which is enriched with conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, coming exactly in the line of revelation of Sri Rupa Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the personified teachings of Lord Chaitanya. You are the deliverer of the fallen souls. You do not tolerate any statement which is against the teachings of devotional service enunciated by Sri Rupa Goswami. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Sri Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, so much nectar in this verse and purport. and it's like the real nectar. You know, there are like different groups who are like going for the rasa dance kind of nectar and these sort of things. And this is the real nectar. This is what the pure devotees are actually after. This is what the pure devotees are actually after. And so that it's just like all the principles in this verse, right? So Narada Muni gives the transcendental, he gives the transcendental knowledge, and that's initiation. And then the first duty of the disciple is to serve the master. And Prahlad Maharaj is like a rhetorical question, right? He doesn't expect any response. Like, how could I leave his service? There is no response to that. It's like a rhetorical question. And it's like he's talking to Lord Nrsimhadev. So he's challenging, that just came up. He's challenging Lord Nrsimhadev to give him like some reasons. You know, how can I leave the service of Narada Muni? Because Lord Nrsimhadev is offering benedictions. But Maharaj is like, no, I'm serving Narada Muni, like there is nothing else, you know, how can I do something else? Tell me. So even the Lord himself cannot respond to that question. You know, so don't try to respond to that question, because that's the relationship between the guru and the disciple. So that's why we sing every morning to remember that Chakudana Dioye Chame Chame Prabhuse Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Oh, there, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. He gives my heart the transcendental knowledge. He opens my eyes with transcendental knowledge and gives the transcendental knowledge to my heart. And I am his servant birth after birth. And nothing else I desire or aspire for, because how could I ever leave his service? How could I leave the service of my spiritual master and go dance with the gopis if my spiritual master needs me somewhere else? It will be so distasteful. So it's well, Mother Malini shared with me, and we don't know if it's an authorized quote, but it's an interesting quote. It's supposedly to be a quote from Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and again saying it's a supposedly. Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said that the neophyte devotees tend to only see the acharyas that already left the planet, which is like a little similar quote to the neophyte devotees. It's in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The neophyte devotees see only the deities in the temple, and maybe are a little, how to say, neglectful towards the devotees. So, you know, my aspiration, my personal aspiration is to embrace this mood towards Srila Prabhupada, that's for sure. And I shared 2 weeks ago in the class that I went through like few months of, let's say, re-evaluating my life and this spiritual practice, and do I want to do that, and what's really true for me, and things like this. And yeah, and I went through like some, you know, significant questioning, and it was really good, because it turned out that I didn't stop practice Krishna consciousness, but I actually practiced with more enthusiasm. But it was a risky path, because I was ready also to quit in that contemplation. But one thing, and that's one thing I want to say, one thing that I was like 100% sure, you know, like, do I want to chant 16 rounds? I don't know about that, you know, like, one thing that I was 100% sure about is Srila Prabhupada. Like, and okay, it's like everything that he says truth. I cannot say I'm 100% sure about it. You know, I really love the idea of God being this like beautiful, beautiful ever 16-year-old, curly black hair, peacock feather in his hair, lotus eye, smile that everyone just like, you know, drops on their knees, just seeing that smile, playing flute in such a way that's like, brings like ecstasies of love, just hearing that sound, and it's like dancing and playing and killing. I love it, really. Do I 100% believe that's true? I cannot say that, but what I believe 100% is true, that Srila Prabhupada cares. That's like my unshakable At least that's where I landed in my re-evaluation process. I 100% believe that Srila Prabhupada cares about me, about every one of us. And even if like what he says is phantasmagoria, even though I really don't know who would come up, you know, we were recently reading it. I was in Prabhupada house in Melrose, and we were reading some of like the 24 elements and these kind of things, you know, and I was saying, well, I'm not like so much attracted to this like thick philosophical things, but I said it increased my faith, because like who would come up, you know, like the creation, and this it's just like, okay, you know, it's too far out for me to believe that a human would, you know, but letting my faith aside, my conviction is that Srila Prabhupada really cares, even if like everything that he says is nonsense, which, you know, probably is not, he still cares. And I don't know anyone in my life who would care about me more, like even like, you know, close to that pure unconditional care. So that's that puts me in that position of how can I live his service, right? So I didn't stop to chant my 16 rounds and things like that, because the trust in Srila Prabhupada's good intention is really like a solid base now. It became in my spiritual practice. And then, you know, and the other part, yeah, like it's thanks to the Govinda Prabhu that it's like that you didn't cheated me of that opportunity to have that direct connection with Srila Prabhupada and have that strong base for my spiritual practice. And if you didn't support me to have that, it's very likely that I wouldn't be practicing now. So that's also my truth. And yeah, and it comes to the point that I shared, like the Neophyte devotees. That's a verified quote. The Neophyte devotees sees only the deities and not the devotees. And maybe, you know, a maybe quote also like sees only the previous acharya and not the acharyas that we have now here. And I think I cannot go too wrong with applying the same principle with the devotees like Govinda Prabhu, Madre Malini, and others who like aspire to support me on this path with this direct connection of Srila Prabhupada. So I am in my like spiritual practice aspiring, not that I'm good at it, but aspiring to like cultivate and keep that service mood, not only to Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas, but also to my acharyas on this earth. You know, while like keeping it in like, you know, there is some distinctions for sure, but like how can I go wrong with like being in the service mood toward Govinda Prabhu or toward Madre Malini or towards the Ratneshwari and devotees who I come for instruction to, and obviously what I am receiving is working in my process of bhakti yoga and connecting with Srila Prabhupada. So I think to not do that might be more risky than to do that. And I think, you know, because there are like some sanghas in this world that overemphasize the connection with those who are like commonly present in this looking like bodies. So at some communities is overemphasized, and in other it's like the balance in the material world. In other communities is underemphasized. That's what I believe, that in, you know, it's almost maybe like bringing the balance to like underestimate, to, you know, like either overestimate, like meaning I'm like so focused on the person who is guiding me here now, that I don't develop any connection with Srila Prabhupada. Maybe I don't even read his books. And when this person who is here with me on this earth starts to say, well, let's not do bhakti yoga anymore, let's do something else, I'm like, okay, sounds like a great idea. So that's the risk of the overemphasizing. And then the underestimation, which is, other side, maybe even of the same coin, is like, well, I like Srila Prabhupada is my guru, and like I don't, I'm not like I'm not like going to like serve, or like respect or appreciate or render service unto someone who is helping me here now on this path. So this underestimation is also, it's dangerous, because like this dasa, oh God, it will break my tongue. Dasa, nudasa. That it's I'm quite sure that Krishna wouldn't be very pleased with that mentality either. That Krishna wouldn't be very pleased with that mentality either, of like taking for granted and not being like committed and loyal to those who are guiding us now on this earth, and with the distinction that, yeah, if they decide to do something else, I'm not sure what does it mean for that. How could I leave their service? But if they don't decide, then it's the same. From my humble estimation, it's the same principle. And Srila Prabhupada was like guiding his disciples to, also like cultivate this mood towards each other, the mood of respect, service, creating like a hierarchical structures, like a temple president or the senior devotees who are guiding the junior devotees. And of course, it's a two-way path. It's not just like one is giving, it's like, oh, I come here to do Raghavindas Prabhu's temple, and he cooks for me, serves me breakfast, gives me the transcendental knowledge. And I say, oh, thank you, I come tomorrow again. So it's a devotional service, right? How could I leave his service? Prahlad Maharaj is not coming to Narada Muni for like, can you wash my laundry? Oh God, when I stay with Mother Malini, it's even worse, like she would like wash my laundry, and do my bed, and this is not working, So it's a service. So sometimes it's very sweet, like when there are devotee association where the service mood is like really embraced. It's really kind of fun. It's so opposite of the mundane culture. Like when you, I don't know, you are like there is a forming line in the supermarket, and then everyone is kind of rushing to be there first, or a line for whatever in a restaurant, like a fast food, like let me like manage somehow that I get in front of the line somehow or other. And then the devotees, like they do the opposite. Oh, Prabhu, you go first. You go first. I just remember when we were in Rosenberg, it was 2019, I believe, and Anandini organized a big.
That's Switzerland.
Yes.
Not North Rosenberg.
How would you not know? It's such a big, important village with maybe like, I don't know, 500 inhabitants. Anyhow, so Anandini organized a festival of holy name, and there were maybe like 50 devotees, and there was prasadam, and no one would go because everyone was like, Prabhu, you go first. Oh no, Prabhu, you go first. My obeisances. And I thought like, wow, this is so nice. It was like so, or when it's like serving the prasadam, and then no one wants to sit, everyone wants to serve. So that's very nice when it's like a competition. Then it's like a competition who is going to do the service. And of course we have the 6 exchanges. What time is it? Oh, good. 6 exchanges of the devotional service, right? Giving and receiving. It's always giving and receiving. So of course it's service to receive, and at the same time, like, I think most of us, we tend to be good in receiving, right? It's not that hard to receive prasadam or receive someone to listen to me or receive someone to give me some gift. I mean, it's not that of a stretchy thing for most of us. I'm not saying for everyone. So then we can plug into the competition of actually giving, and yeah, and then bring it to the level of like, wow, it's so relishable that there is nothing like else or better that I want to do than to serve my spiritual master. Like Prahlad Maharaj is offered by Lord Nrsingadev. Imagine Krishna comes to you and says like, I fulfill like any of your desires. I am sorry to look in my heart and I think like to say, well, please engage me in service to Srila Prabhupada. I don't think it would come anywhere like near, I would like, oh, maybe you could get me some like very good horse. Okay, or if I was like less gross than that, like maybe, can I be just happy ever after, So yeah, I don't think that like, if Krishna appears before me, I would be able to do that. But for the pure devotee, it's just true. Like there is nothing better. There is nothing better than to serve the pure devotee spiritual master. It's the like greatest blessing, the highest benediction that exists. And that's, and we all experience that, oh, I want this, and then I have it, and it's not that great. And this is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal that when ultimately we reach that, we don't want anything else. We just want more of that. So when someone achieves this like pure devotional service unto the lotus feet of the spiritual master and Krishna, it's never like, I want something different. It's just always, I want more of this. I want more of this. I want more of this. We always will want more. That's the nature of the soul. But until we come to the ultimate goal, it's like a constant like, oh, I guess this wasn't it. So now I want that. And the ultimate goal is like truly, if like, if I can have like anything, well, I still want this. And there is nothing greater than that. So that's the heart of the pure devotee. And I wanted to say one more thing, and now it's slide away. Anyhow, I might remember that later. So, yeah, Srila Prabhupada has that realization and his heart dedication to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And again, it's available for us to develop the same to Srila Prabhupada. So, anyone has any comments or questions? Something you would like to add for this conversation about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? We are going to continue a lot more today, so you can join the class at 11, I believe.
Yeah.
11 a.m.
Your time at 10:30, and then 11 o'clock, more philosophy discussion here from Bhaktisiddhanta. Yeah, so 11 o'clock, and then after that, Kirtan and Prasadam feast, prepared by Hladini and Hari Gopal and others.
And Damayanti and
Damayanti and Garuda and Prabhupada.
Oh, that's my point that I wanted to say. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, so we were, Damayanti and Garuda Prabhu, they organized a program on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was cooking with them for the program, and I wasn't participating in the program because I was helping Mother Ratneshwari to dress her deities. And there, like we discussed, and there was like some point like, well, we are cooking and you are not even going to be here for the festival. It's like a sad thing. And I like took a moment to look at it, and I felt like this is my favorite part of the festival. I felt like I'm not missing anything, because like to cook for the festival or clean for the festival like that, this is my way of like festival. And then I thought of the very few occasions that I actually just came like as a guest.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's something wrong about coming as a guest. I just, I was reflecting on my experience. And really like it was practically every single time it felt like in some ways empty. It didn't feel like quite as fulfilling or satisfying as when I get to like actively do some service to make it happen. So that was interesting, and I shared it with Damayanti, and Damayanti said, "Oh, I never thought about it." And then she reflected back about her experiences with different programs, and Damayanti shared it's same for me. Like when I just go to the program, like to receive, receive association, receive philosophy, receive prasadam. It's not like quite as satisfying. So I think that's the principle. That's the principle right there. I have so many experiences going on Harinam with ISKCON devotees in Prague. And when I would go, I would just go to like be carried by the wave of their ecstasy. It was always like, what am I even doing here? Like really like uninspiring. I shouldn't speak about Harinam as uninspiring, but my consciousness was uninspiring enough to make it uninspiring. And when I'm like going into mood, like how can I like add to the energy, how can I like that I am here, like that it makes difference for 2 or 3 people that we meet or whatever, then it's like a real enlivening, ecstatic experience. Hare Krishna.
I just noticed there was a chat.
Oh,
So I don't see what the chat is.
chat is
Yeah.
obviously working.
Okay. It's a comment, one of your comments.
I see. Bhaktisiddhanta wrote, obviously working at 8:55. I don't know what that was. Hare Krishna. Well, I think I was speaking about your guidance, Govinda Prabhu. I said it's working, right? Bhaktisiddhanta, and he said, obviously it is working. So it must be that I look transformed or something. And okay, a heart appeared on the screen. So do we have actual comments?
Thank you. Overemphasizing or underemphasizing when in regard to Srila Prabhupada and current Vaishnavas that are helping us along on the path. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that emphasis. So it's like, yes, that, of course, sometimes I get into terms like living guru, like that.
I avoided that.
Yeah, so if we look at all the, I asked him if we look at Prabhupada's books and look at all his transcribed lectures, conversations, this and that, maybe it comes out like 100,000 pages. And never once in there will we find Prabhupada using the term living guru or living spiritual master. So that makes it interesting that since November 1977, I'm not exaggerating, tens of millions of times with this living guru. So just very interesting. I'm not going to connect the dots for everyone. Prabhupada never, ever, ever uses those terms. Interesting. Because once you have living guru, it means you're introduced something called a dead guru. Okay. So obviously, so Srila Prabhupada's living and right, so then there can be that overemphasis, yes, on that the physical presence, of those who are directly guiding it, and then what we hear, from the model that Prabhupada established of Srila Prabhupada being fully 100% available to be the current direct living link to the Parampara for those who sincerely follow him, with those who sincerely follow him having no physical interface whatsoever with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada established that even before November 14, 1977. I think everyone here is aware of that. Okay. All right. and then sometimes there's the concern or criticism of that other imbalance that you mentioned, that like, yeah, well then who will care for the initiates, who will care for the devotees? And actually, unfortunately, it is valid. It's not like valid philosophically, but practically, because we have seen in the name of like, Prabhupada's my current link, Prabhupada's my guru, I don't need to listen to anyone. Okay, which of course that's obnoxious, but we've seen that, and it's so it's a valid criticism, but it's Saint Augustine said, never judge a philosophy by its abuse. So that's so of course, Srila Prabhupada's spirit is that all his sincere followers cooperate together. So this Prabhupada is my current link. It's not meant to be like, oh, now I'm this independent person and I don't need to listen to anyone. So yeah, and then also I've seen even amongst those who aspire towards like encouraging everyone to connect with Prabhupada as their current link, but then there can be this mood of irresponsibility, like, okay, yeah, well now it's between you and Prabhupada, don't ask me questions. I've kind of seen that. And that's why even in my first writing, like Srila Prabhupada, the prominent link, back 24 years ago, I have a whole section called responsibility. At least the ideal to which I endeavor to aspire is that like the idea is like, well, let's take like the traditional temple model. The idea is like someone comes and then naturally they're inspired by the bhakta or bhakti leader, or oh, here's this senior Mataji who gives an inspiring class, or that book distributor, or the pujari who's just like empowered about how to decorate the deities. So they're all gurus. They're all gurus. And then if anyone is in that role of the Sanskrit term would be Siksha Guru, then the idea is that to endeavor to be responsible for that person who has somehow been inspired by me, somehow taken shelter for at least this lifetime. I mean, we could say more than that, but like it's artificial for me because what good could I do from Maharoraba? But anyway, that's the whole thing. So but then
maybe we will meet again, so.
yeah, we can shake hands. Yeah, so so the idea is no, so that the idea is like the temple president or the project leader or they have an active feeling of responsibility to whoever comes under their shelter for the duration of at least this lifetime, and not that like, no, Prabhupada's your current link, so don't come to me, that we want to be available and like that. So I've seen kind of shirking responsibility in the name of like, well, it's between them and Prabhupada. So and then yeah, and of course our way to be responsible, and this is an important distinction, that important thing is like is not to be, I'm the link between you and Prabhupada, like Prabhupada is the link between us and Bhaktisiddhanta. Not that I'm the link between you and Prabhupada. Same time, I have an important role to play to encourage you, encourage to cultivate your direct personal relationship with Srila Prabhupada, and you establish in your class that the essence of the process of initiation is Divyagyan. That's how Prabhupada defines Diksha. To develop your direct personal relationship with Srila Prabhupada, cultivate that, strengthen that for forever, and so in whatever way I can be an inspiration, a support for that. So that's how we get to be gurus with Srila Prabhupada. It's the current link. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for letting me go. And I kind of want to, expand on that it like goes both ways. Because like you were sharing, let's say from the point of view of the senior devotee,
Yeah.
right? Like what's the responsibility?
Yeah.
But then the junior devotee also has the responsibility. It's not like, well, so I have this senior devotee who like guided me and gave like thousands of hours of their time to support me in developing my Krishna consciousness. And then like, well, Srila Prabhupada is my direct link. Like, screw you,
Yeah.
It's so it's like a both way responsibility to the dedication of like, okay, like there is the service and there is the transcendental knowledge, and then yeah, like how can I reciprocate with the service at least this lifetime. It's like an important two-way street.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's it. The idea is like, yeah, I've had so many. Actually, just recently I had correspondence with Stamba Prabhu.
Die.
Then we had very sweet and philosophical correspondence. He's in High Springs, but haven't seen him in maybe 15 years, more than that. But he's my Bhartma Pradarshak guru. And so I have so many others who've inspired me in Krishna consciousness, inspired me in my relation with Prabhupada. So I ought to be forever grateful to them, like nothing negative, for forever deep gratitude, forever grateful. And some of them might not even be like someone's practicing Krishna consciousness now and like that. Stamba definitely is, but whatever, like, yeah, that for forever gratitude. And like, yeah, but what is there to be more grateful for than someone somehow inspiring and encouraging us to develop our direct personal relationship with Srila Prabhupada? And so, like, to neglect anyone who plays that role for us, that's very, very sad and shows a lot of hard-heartedness.
Yes. Sad, and also I think it's like a big stumbling block on the spiritual progress. And also it's like practical, even like from a point, like it doesn't have to be always like that, but often it is. Like those who practice longer are older. And so it's even like a practical, like they practice longer, have more realization, more knowledge, and need more physical help, which like the young devotees have, right? So it's like even that oftentimes involves this practical aspect on the natural exchange. So yeah. And I want to say when we speak about it, I want to say that I have seen it a lot, that there is like a senior devotee who is like maybe 70 years old or even more. It's a Prabhupada's example also, right? But and then they give the knowledge, and then they cook prasadam for 100 young people, serve it to them, clean after, and like. So it's Srila Prabhupada's story also, right? And then standing the last one in the line to the bathroom. So and that's the neophyte, and it can be okay for some time, like few weeks or months maybe, but even like a common ethic sense would be, even like from a very mundane common ethic would be like, well, Srila Prabhupada, please go first, to the bathroom, or you sit down, we serve, or we clean the dishes, whatever. It's just like a basic morals, even. But anyhow, on the spiritual practice, like Srila Prabhupada wants everyone to come at least to the Madhya Adhikari stage, which is not neophyte, which is not Kanishta, and to like see also the devotees and not only the deities. Hare Krishna. Any other comments? Danielle.
Hare Krishna. I just appreciate this class and discussion so much. And I'm feeling like this morning I was turning on the camera to start the prayers with everyone, and I just felt so much appreciation and gratitude looking at the altar that it's in the temple room with you guys there. Grahasta ashram is a difficult place to be in. I was just thinking about the resonance between that altar and how it inspired the one that I get to have here at my home right now. And how Dira and Malini, they got inspired by people who were inspired by people who were inspired by Srila Prabhupada, who were inspired by, you know, obviously throughout the entire disciplic succession, and how just how fortunate I feel to be connected to this practice, and how no matter where I go in bhakti yoga, because we're talking about all the different flavors, right? There's different communities and different flavors and ways of being within the big overarching bhakti yoga, Gaudiya math, you know, philosophy. That this is the flavor, this is the place where I feel most at home, and without a doubt, there was no other way that I would have gotten connected. And it feels like such mercy to be hearing this, the messages like, you know, we're hearing from Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nishimadev, and that feels like, it feels like such, yes, baby, philosophy, yes. It feels like such a, I don't know, for me, like Lord Nishimadev always feels like protective parental energy, like protective love of like a parent. And I get that same kind of energy from Srila Prabhupada, like so much love, so much affection, so much tenderness, but also so fierce. Like no one could even for a second, like get in my way, you know, Srila Prabhupada would never allow it. And I see it in his writing. Like I've never, the verses that we were reading this morning that Srila Prabhupada authored, I'd never experienced those before. And I appreciate you bringing them to my attention and awareness. And yeah, I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude and also inspiration. And yeah, it's a very beautiful class, a very beautiful Sangha. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhakti Daniel. It's so sweet to hear like this perspective of Lord Nishingadev being like the fearful, protective father. I never thought about it, but it really resonates, and it's like so nice. Like he's so loving, but when someone is like putting the child in danger, then it's quite a different mood. And yeah, for sure, Srila Prabhupada has that.
It's like the jaws of a mother cat, right? It's the lion incarnation.
Right, yeah, very nice.
And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is called, he's known as the Lion Guru.
Right.
So he's fierce to protect the preciousness of the actual Siddhanta of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. He's known as the Lion Guru. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think that was is that no. That was the quote towards that line guru, but I don't know if I can find it quickly. No, I will not do that. Okay. Thank you everyone for your presence and participation, and I hope we are going to get more as the day goes on. Hare Krishna. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.